Oh, that's nice. Hello, everyone. Welcome to UmbraCollab, part 3 of our Bellissima journey. I hope Jacob is ready as well. I didn't check with him.
Well, I'm here.
Oh, okay. That's good. Let me share a screen and let's see what we can do. Full screen, screen 1, because that's the only way you can see my cursor. Best text readability, no audio sharing. Perfect. Can you see my screen and my beautiful purple cursor?
Yep.
Okay.
You see it?
Okay, I am. My screen is now lagging, so I'm wondering if I need to shut down something or not. Because that's quite a lag. Where does that come from? Let me just check my... This one. It's coming from my GPU. Oh, wonderful. We'll see how it goes. Does it look smooth enough to you all? No, now I can't hear you all.
Well, it looks, I don't know.
Looks fine to me.
Looks fine,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. You're not moving on my other screen, but that's fine. This is fine. Okay. Well, we're back, and we've got a Google Maps. We've got it working. So yes, Richard asked on Mastodon, can you at least tell us how you got it working? Which was a good question, and I think Jacob, you have the best insight to that one. Can you enlighten us?
Yeah. Not sure, to be honest. Well, I know why this is working, but I still don't know why the other one wasn't working.
Yeah.
I suppose they simply released a build without a draggable marker in their web component setup. Must have been a feature added later on, and at least the version we were using of the web components last time didn't support dragging the marker. We tried all sorts of things, binding to different events, and seeing if we could even find the source code to detect it, which we actually couldn't. So we ended up following their guide instead, which their native JavaScript guide, and this is what you see on Sebastian's screen here.
This is
so
definitely very old school. Just doing an import of a
it's more
file.
modularized, right? So we import the entire Google Maps API, and then they have this cool method called import library. You see, we use it for maps and marker, so that gives us some sub components of that API.
Yeah.
And since we now have the actual marker, we knew it up there on line 31. New advanced marker element. That's actually the same element we were using before, but we can now set GMP draggable to true as a property, and that enables us to listen to the drag events. Yeah. So, and I think it works, right? You can drag the marker.
It actually does. So if I look around,
and this is what we wanted, right? So
I forgot to update this one, but also seems to work. So if I go back, it's hard to see because I only moved it a little bit, but I moved it to Costco, so it should be pretty here.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out how to center the map around something.
Yeah,
that's relevant. I guess that's configurable as well in the data type settings.
That's also what we probably should be working on this time, is to make it configurable.
That would make sense.
I was going to look at. I think beta 3 is still building, so I'm still on beta 2. So some things may look a little bit off, but they've been fixed or being fixed at the moment. So we do already have a config here, a setting on the data type, which is of course a bogus setting, because maximum allowed characters is not what we're going to be using for this.
We get that off of the Xbox.
True. So I just wanted to check on the v13 version of this, we have a few settings like the API key, default coordinates if there's none set, default zoom, and some other things. So I think these two would be nice if we could implement them, the API key and the default coordinates.
Yeah.
I already got a very stern warning from GitHub when I pushed my code up to the to my public repository because they
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
resist being in here. Like it's
Included the
fine, it's just a
key.
test key, it's fine, don't worry about it.
Right.
So let's see. So yes, you're saying that we are getting this because I am using and where do I define it? Oh, here, property alias or editor schema alias is text box.
Yeah, in lieu of creating our own property editor or data editor, we hooked onto Umbraco just to be able to save text.
Yeah.
But down the road, we want to have our own as well to do validation on whatever input we make. I think that's part of the old package as well.
Yeah. So is that
but for now, we can do the... Well, I think we could do the UI part first, as in the maps, the API, and the API key and coordinates.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we kind of split it in two. We have the UI configuration and the schema configuration, and you can put settings on both. It depends on your inheritance, really. If you ever imagined you having another UI that is not Google Maps, you might want to split your settings up so that you had the generic settings on the schema and the Google Maps settings on the UI part. And I don't know if that's if that's feasible here. I mean, they are pretty generic, I would say. They would all probably require an API key. They would all probably require center, latitude, longitude coordinates, and a zoom level. But of course, then you go into the more advanced ones, such as map type, and that definitely depends on what provider you're using.
Type of, exactly.
Yeah, so you have a few options, and I mean, for our use case, it doesn't really matter. I mean, for sake of previously, we could start by putting them on the UI because we can always migrate them back to the schema.
Yeah. Can we do some kind of inheritance as well?
Well, that is inheritance, right? So whatever you put in the schema, you will inherit the settings of that. That's why we see the max text length in the first place, maximum allowed characters.
Nice. Yeah, okay.
So that is the sort of tree structure, you could say.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
But since you have the file here, I mean, we could start by putting in some of the Google Maps ones. So if you wanted to put an API key, you would have. Do you have IntelliSense, by the way? Does it work? Would be cool to see if that actually. What about next to the meta object?
Like here. No, it did validate this, but it didn't really find it. I think the official method is to do it like this, but that already gives me an error. Oh no, wait. That seems alright. Or not.
Yeah, you actually get a lot, right? But I think they are pretty generic. I mean, inside the meta object, that's where we would expect to find a property called settings.
Yep.
And so it actually suggested stuff. Okay, but it doesn't look right.
No.
But settings, it takes in an array called properties as well. So if you do properties, not an array, but like a property called properties. Yeah, there you go. And that is an array. And this is where you define the config. So you would put in, actually object, right? Because they need a few properties.
Okay.
So it's a bit verbose, but there you go. So it actually is just a API key for you. Where to go?
Is that correct?
Let me just check. So we have alias, label, description. That's correct. But view is Umbraco 13. Actually, that's that would be the old manifest file. we call it now property editor UI alias. So this is where you would define how do you actually want the configuration to look like. So of like in the old back office, how would you want the pre-value editor to look like? And you could use other property editor UIs to configure your property editor UI. If you wanted a text
we could
box,
even have a Google Maps property editor UI.
We could in fact have itself to configure itself, like the coordinates, instead of writing them in a text box. You could actually, more or less, but then you come into sort of a cyclic thing because you need the API key, which you haven't entered yet, and like that's probably a dangerous road to go down. But if you wanted a text box, it's actually called ump.propertyEditorUI.textbox.
I can't type today.
And let me just
editor, well, almost.
And we need to document these as well, of course, because it's kind of on a discovery basis at the moment. But I'm sure a lot of that will come. So looks right. That's the alias. If you went ahead and saved that, you would then need to restart your server. Unfortunately, it only picks up those JSON files on.
That's the one that comes in there.
I mean, we could register this with JavaScript instead, and then you could see it live, more or less. But
all right, so I should be able to see something here now, or are we not?
It should actually pop up an extra Xbox when it boots up.
No, nothing there. I don't see any errors either. And we were hiding elements last time, but I don't think that's the case here either. Or is it? Editor column. No, that's that one.
No, can you go to your code again? I wanted to check.
I did reboot the server. That was this one.
Oh, okay.
Oh, maybe I should.
No, not the Vite server. That was the Vite server. You need to reboot the backend. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, nothing wrong with the. Yeah. There you go. I thought it was quick.
Well, it's still pretty quick. There you go.
Oh yeah.
I have a new computer. That helps. Close. Refresh. But no. But there's something here new. That's new now. No, that's an icon. Okay. Did I refresh with? Let me just check my network. Yes, I have disabled cache. So should have done all of that.
And this might be a stupid question, but you did add it to the right property editor. I know we were playing with a few. You would have to check in your
Sorry,
code.
I have some visitors in the office, and I had to I sent them away in a friendly way, I hope. Sorry, what you were saying?
I was saying you did add it to the right editor, the Our.Umbraco.GMaps one.
Yeah. It's meta and then settings, right?
Yeah, it looks like that looks right.
I have no other editors, so that's all. Or no, this one
okay,
gets copied here, right? Yeah.
So this is it gets copied. Did it get copied?
Good question. No, it did not.
No, it didn't.
Should I be doing watch instead of
that was
dev?
actually the Vite server doing that. Like Vite will copy it, but probably only when you build and not when you watch.
Well, I didn't watch. I used dev. I don't know what the difference between those two is, but let's. Oh, now it did it. So this one.
There you go. Okay. And now you restart your backend server. Yeah.
Just do something silly to see if it actually works. No. Okay.
No, I don't.
So
I don't
we need
think
to
it
remember that
watches
this
that.
isn't. Yeah. Okay.
I don't think it watches like the public files. Only if you actually reference them somewhere in the JavaScript. But
Okay.
it does copy it when you build. I mean, that's just
Super.
neat.
Yeah. With the build, that's good enough. Then we know how to do it next time. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is not a file that's supposed to change all the time, right? But,
No, exactly.
but
Okay.
still,
Let's refresh here.
moment of truth. I don't even think you need the disable cache to be honest. But
Oh yeah.
it would just be Umbraco picking up the file, testing it.
Yeah.
It didn't.
My machine is not happy right now. Come
So
on.
screen share and everything
Yeah.
is not. I see.
Hey, there we go. All right. Did it now pick up on that text box too, or is there a spelling mistake in it? No, there must be a spelling error here. Is it property editor UI with a capital I? No.
No, it looks right.
Complete this. And this one is UI with. Should that be a lowercase?
A lowercase p, but you already have that.
Lowercase
No,
p?
okay, not that one is fine. Yeah, that one's fine. It's it looks all right. But okay, so a good case for debugging. If you go to your browser, you'll be able to see what you actually get out from the the server. Maybe maybe it caught up on the two before you released that.
I am
Yeah,
muting
it's empty.
Carl, by the way. Sorry, Carl, if you can't unmute yourself now, but we could hear you. What are we looking at?
So network tab.
Yes.
And then XHR. Fetch, it's XHR tab, yeah. And then just go into the data type again. You don't, reload.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. Now you'll see all the calls, but it should be one of the last ones.
Mm-hmm.
So at least I find a rather wonderful thing is that we get like everything out. So these are just the values you'll want to find there. There you go. No, that was the current user. I don't think it's the right. No, it's not that one. I think you want the right one, but the bottom one. But you can't even see the others that are there.
No.
But they are there on the page, so it must be a call somewhere.
Question mark? Yeah. Well, manifest is just a copy of what we have, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. But that's the one I was looking for. It actually registers it in the extension registry. Yeah. So you have. It didn't pick up on the 2, right? But it did pick up under capital I on UI.
Yeah.
It needs to be lowercase. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
There could be a case of us maybe wanting to make sure it copies the file over.
I'm doing that now.
Yeah. It could be a case of us maybe wanting not to be that nitpicking about capitalization. There's JavaScript, right? So JavaScript is very, strict equal. And so you have to remember to always compare with, lowercase or just leave it be. But hopefully we could be able to put in some intelligence in the schema file with some of these also for ease of discoverability. The thing is, we don't know what you have registered, right? So we don't want to make it an exhaustive list. Then you would get errors if you tried your own.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah.
So it is rather
Maybe
hard to
some way
do
to
like
generate
type
them
checking.
or...
There we
Well,
go.
I found something.
Now you have a text box.
Sweet. Let me
Right.
copy in my... let's see if... Does it... Okay, so... Will it now work immediately?
Yeah,
Is that
it will save it.
excellent?
If you try and save.
2 seconds.
We couldn't see on the screen share that anything happened, I think.
No, it's still going.
Oh, okay. Your browser is really
Yeah, it's being a bit of a pain today. Saved, yes.
okay.
But I wanted to like switch away and check that it actually
Yeah.
saved it.
Yeah, just refresh that.
Boom. Yay. Okay, that's cool.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So
How do I do it?
very low key, since you were using one of ours. I mean, you didn't have to set up the UI for like the pre-value as well. We already set those up for you, but of course you can. Just wanted to say you can use any kind of property editor UI in there to configure. So, and you might even have cases where, I mean, we want you to register them as property editor UIs, but I also want to stipulate that you can register UIs that are not property editors. If they don't have a schema, you won't be able to pick them as a property editor. So just for the most part, you'll just reuse the UI you have, but sometimes you might have a special case where you only needed to configure other property editor UIs. And in that case, you just registered without this schema alias that we see on your screen, and then you can still use it to configure others whilst
I see what you mean. Yeah.
hiding it for the general use. So it does need to match up with something on the server to be used in its own right. But you can always point to it.
Could I now remove this schema alias?
No.
Because that's what the eventual what we save the value in, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that'll go into the data data editor on the server.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
But we could make a custom one if we wanted to.
Oh yeah.
And
this package has its own, right? They have their own data editor as well with validation and stuff. So and property value converter. So we'll get into that, I'm sure. But
okay,
how do you actually get this value?
That's a good question.
That's the interesting part. And you see, you have a property here called public value on your component. There's a similar one called config.
So is that another property?
Yes. So you'll just have to add that. Add property.
I mean,
it's an object here, and
sure, that's fine actually for now.
We have some helpers for that as well. I just have to look them up. So there's actually a way of you doing this as a setter, and then you have some type safety on it.
Okay, cool.
So I can, for instance, on the text box, there's a rather nice example in the source code. I can just, if I may, I can send it in the chat here.
Yes.
So I'm gonna do this there. So if you copy that in, to just remove the code you just wrote, and then it doesn't have to be a property either, because it's only being, no one else is setting it for you. But and you should be able to find some imports for that. Update import. Yep, exactly. So this config collection object is a way to you can query for your config and sort of imposing semi-type safety on it. So you know this is a string, right? So if you reuse the first one, get value by alias, you could say it's a string instead of a UUI input type thing, lowercase string. And then the alias will then have to match the alias you put in in
Yep,
the
let's see,
manifest
API
file.
key.
Yeah, and then you
And
could potentially fall back to something else as well. But
oh yeah, this
we
is if it is not filled in, but I don't really care about it at the moment.
yeah, just assume it's that
Yeah.
really.
And
Then
then
you need to save it
this-
somewhere in in a reactive property.
Mhm.
So what we do on this example is you do a state, as in try and do private type. You can always rename it like it suggests now. And then
Yeah.
on top of that, instead of add property, you use the add state to make it
Oh,
reactive.
sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there
And
anything more to
parentheses
it?
actually.
Okay.
You need to import that from the lit
Yes.
package. Yeah. So now you're actually taking the key and putting it into a reactive properties. So that means the templates will re-render when it changes. And you can, rename to API key, and you can delete the others. I mean,
Yes.
I think we get the idea.
Nice.
Now the thing really is that we are importing this script, but we can only do it when the API key is there, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not entirely sure how to secure it, with with a build and everything, but you could actually just import it when the config is set instead of saving the API key. That would be sort of an easy way to go about it. The
I'm not
config
sure what
is
you mean
not.
there.
So copy the line, await import. That's where you use the API key. Just copy it into the set config method. Yeah, because you want to use the API key right away, right? And
got it. Yes.
you only want this import to happen once, right? Yeah. And then
can we do this?
yeah,
yes.
you can. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so then we don't need.
No, but
to have
you
this
do. No, yeah, you're right. You don't need to save it outside, but yeah.
Okay.
Just need to save it somewhere.
Not happy with this await.
Yeah, it's not an async method.
Got it.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. But
so yeah, the question is if we can do that. I'm actually not sure. Tell you what, how about you put it in another method that is async then, and we can also sort of re-render the map in that method, but you're gonna need that anyway.
Init.
Yeah, exactly. To do something like async init, and that can just read off of the API key you saved. Yes. Yeah, exactly. No, I mean you already. Yeah, okay. You can pass it on.
Oh, we can do either way.
It doesn't really matter. I mean, you save a bit of resources by not doing the state thing, but
yeah. Let's save it like this. This is fine with me.
Yeah, and so the rest of your code and first updated, if you move that to that method as well, it should more or less work.
Oh yeah, yeah, of course. And does this need to be await? Yes.
Well, I would just move the code into init map instead of having it in first updated.
I see what you mean.
And then call init map when you get the config set.
Yeah. So all of this.
Yep, just cut and paste into yeah.
Okay.
And then you don't need the first updated anymore, so we can just get rid of that. And up in set config, you want to then call init map. Set config knows when the API key is available, and it can then call init map.
Yep.
Yeah. And init map will then do the import, create the marker, and should the API key ever change live, which is very unlikely to happen. It will import the new module and recreate the map and marker. So
All right. Yeah.
it is sort of safe. Yeah. Does it
Looks
work
good.
then?
That was my next question as well.
Yeah.
Let's see. And
I'm
will it
not
work immediately?
sure it could work immediately, but well.
Well, this is already because it's already been set, so I need to create a new one first.
But yeah, it did show the map though.
Oh,
it
it
can
did
only show
because
the
it
map
had
if you
an
have an
API key.
API key, right? Oh
Yeah,
yeah, there you go.
And look, the default is in Odinson now. Is that the default we put in here? Did I do that? Oh yeah, I changed it. This is Odinson. So it works perfectly.
Not far from the HQ moments,
And
right? Yeah.
I can prove it by breaking it.
best test.
Right? I love doing that.
Yeah. I wonder what it does without an API key. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
cool.
just like, yeah, do you own this website? Well, I guess I do. Excellent.
So now, I mean, the first one is always the hardest, right? And if you were to add sender coordinates, copy paste and use a different alias, and it's the text box.
Yeah,
you can easily get it in there.
Yeah.
And since we moved everything to init map, I mean, you just need to find a way to pass the parameters through it, either by saving them on the class as we did, or use arguments.
Yeah. Okie doke.
Yep.
So now, how do we get rid of this one and make our own?
Well, in theory, it's simple. You need to register our own just above, in the extensions array, and then you already there. You give it your own alias, and you just use that here. But you probably can't save data when you do that. We'll see what happens.
But that just means making a new data type instead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
No, well, it means because now you tell the server, hey, here's some data on something called GMaps instead, and the server will ask you what the hell you are on about, right? Because it doesn't have any data editor set up. But we'll get to that part. I mean, so go ahead in the top of the extensions array. You can do a new object.
Oh, there's another array. Sorry, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Or I want to put it at the end. Is that okay?
Well, I was thinking register that first, since the other one uses that, but I can't.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't know if it matters either. Well, that's not quite right, but
yeah. So the type is now, it's called property editor schema. That should correspond with the other one, which is pointing to it with property editor schema alias. Property editor schema.
Yeah.
So it was actually called property editor initially, but then we figured, but that the old one also called property editors. Now we have like two different ones. So then we called it property editor model, and that didn't quite fit right with us, so we ended on schema. The alias needs to be then, different than the UI.
I mean, this is Umbraco text box. Yeah. So this is like this is all of our config, or just one config setting? No, it's all of our config basically.
Well, this is the data editor on the server, right? So this is what the server will actually see. So it needs to be called whatever you would call the data editor on the server.
Yes, but it would contain a API key and a default location.
Well, yeah, and the value, right? It'll actually be the value you save. So I guess we need to go into the old packets and figure out what they call the data editor. Because if we ever want to do migrations as well, we probably need to reuse the alias.
So let's see.
I think I have to. I don't actually know the code that well.
Package manifest. What are we looking
Wasn't
for?
that at the top there? Alias Our.Umbraco.GMaps.
Yeah.
I think that would be the alias.
Mm-hmm.
So if you give that one the same.
Ah, I see what you mean. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
And then the name is what will be shown, after the pipe in the data type screen.
Yeah.
So
This one.
so our GMaps is the UI name and the Umbraco text. But it might actually be the alias. I'm not sure, to be honest.
Yeah. I think it's the other way around. Yeah, because this one is text boxes in the end. But
but I was just wondering if it was the name or the alias. But I think it's actually showing the alias. So the name here doesn't matter too much.
No.
You can pull out a list of all extensions registered, and there you can see the name. But so you can also give this some metadata. So remove the editor part.
Yep.
So as we talked about before, we could actually register the extensions. The settings here instead. So all UIs will inherit them. But I think we should just leave that out for now. And the only thing you want to give it is a default property editor UI alias.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And then point that to the other one. So now they reference each other, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that means if you ever create one, the other will be also picked. And that's actually it. That's the schema part in the front end. Obviously, there's a lot more on the back end that needs to go into one for the thing as well. You need then to point to your new schema instead of Umbraco.textbox. So reference that.
Of course. Yeah.
Further down.
Here.
Yeah.
It's the same alias.
Exactly.
Yes. Okey-doke.
And then you need to do the whole build dance and restart.
Let's restart the watcher. That should copy it over. Restart the server. See if it worked. Yes. Oh, looks like it. Looks good.
So what we should get now is you'll actually sort of have invalid data on your data type. You should probably delete that and create a new one.
Test.
And it might throw a server error as well. I'm not sure.
Surprisingly, it all seems to work.
So.
But not anymore now. Okay.
Well, it's not. The server doesn't know, so that's the.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So cool. It migrated the data off of the UI part because it sort of recognized that.
Yeah.
That's all well and good. But the server is now saying, I don't know what it is. I mean, you registered it in the client, so we do that to know that we can work with the different configs and we can merge them. And but we then need to do the whole server registration as well.
This one. No.
Yep. Exactly. That's expected.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I didn't get. Server registration. That's the next thing you said.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's registered in the front end now, right? You told the front end, hey, there's this schema, there's this UI, there are these settings on them. But the server doesn't know anything. It doesn't have a data editor. It doesn't have a property value converter. There's actually a lot of things in the old package that it did on the server, and some legacy things as well. I saw we might be able to get rid of those. But I guess you'll have to go into your V13 code there, or wherever you had it, and figure out what to copy over from the server.
There's not much on the server, is there? There's a
core
a bit composing and stuff.
That's a composer. So the models.
You're saying this stuff hasn't changed. This is actually things we.
Well, that's the model. Yeah. We don't that that was the config model.
Mm-hmm.
But that's
yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that's just a
that's
regular
more or
C#.
less on the client now. You also have something like you have the property value converter, for instance. That's something we'd want to bring along.
Yeah.
And what does that do? It
just takes
converts itself under. It is an is converter for hopefully the same alias as we just registered.
Yes. That's this one. Yep.
Looks right. Yeah.
Yep.
So
okay, this one is easy to copy. Let's start there.
yeah, but what does it had something with the config stuff it did as well?
Yeah. Just have a constants here. That's fine.
Okay. Are you going to put those in the RCL project, or you're going to create a new core project?
I don't want more projects. Why do I want more projects?
Well, I don't know. The other one had two different ones,
Yeah,
one for the client
true.
and one for the core.
They're very tightly bound, though.
Yeah, well, unless in this case we're actually build a whole new client, but we still might want to multi-target the packet. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I can do a new C# class library.
I was thinking if the models stay the same as in what the front end will see, what the website will see. That sort of belongs in a core package, I would say. But
what's it called? Just just Our.Umbraco.GMaps core. Okay, that's what they called it. I'll call it that. New .core .NET 8 class library. All good.
Yep, looks good.
And then I need to reference it from my website, otherwise I will never make it. Oh, dependencies, reference, class library. Okie doke.
I think the package sort of it only like the text side on the package only references the RTL, right? And the RTL then references the core. Or maybe it's the other way around. No, yeah, might be right. But just because you're not going to bundle your demo side along with the package, right? So you need to the dependencies needs to be in order.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Let's see if that works. Can I remove a reference? No. How? Oh, nee. How do I remove a reference? I don't know, actually.
Good question. Expand the references.
Can't do anything here. Well, I know. We just have a CS project file on disk somewhere.
Hey.
And we have Notepad to do that. Yeah, that one. Gone. Ignore that. We didn't see that. Okay, so yeah, you're right. So in my what's RCL package, I can add that reference. And then
well, it looks like the package has a demo site for Umbraco 10 through 13.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
4 different ones. So you get a 5th demo site.
Yeah. I did
we can do that.
I did name it 14, so it's ready. Although I added Bellissima in front of it, but that's fine.
Okay.
But that's of later concern. I just want to get it working first, then we can reorganize if we need to.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay. This one I wanted to copy over, so we actually have a file. But then just don't ask me if I want to add it to Git. I'll figure that out later. I have a Git client for that. Thank you very much.
Mm.
Oh, that's the wrong one. The property value converter is looking at app settings. No, what is this iOptions monitor for something? I don't think we need that. So there's a lot of things we would need to rewrite, it seems. Although the from string to map is fine, probably. Or is this actually coming from? No, that's the data type configuration. Yeah, that's not gonna work, is it?
No, and I'm not sure we really need that anymore. Since the client more or less handles it as in we're just saving strings, right, for API key, but it looks like it supports sort of a more JSON object for some of the other stuff. And we could make another thing that supports JSON if that was the case, but it's hard to tell from the start what we actually need from this.
Yeah.
There's also something with legacy data. As you see, it was apparently it saved the coordinates.
Oh yeah. I saw that. Yeah.
Exactly. In the same. Yeah.
That's been upgraded. That's fine. But what do we actually need to get the server to understand that there's now an editor with a config object?
Well, so there's a class called there's an attribute called data editor, and I'm not sure that's new actually, but I think
I don't know.
you were allowed to have property editors that weren't registered really on the server before, as long as they were in the package manifest file. But if I'm looking at the core property editors, they each have a class, an editor class that extends the data editor superclass, and then they use an attribute called data editor as well, which puts on the alias on it so the server can recognize that it's coming from, and also the value type is coming on there. And to be honest, I don't know a lot about the C# side of property editors.
That's all right.
But I know you need to register this at least. And it has the from and to editor methods. So you can decide, what goes in and out of the editor.
Can I copy paste an example from somewhere?
Yeah. So what I was thinking was if the Google Maps package already had one of these, we could just use that. But
so
I can't actually.
I couldn't find anything with data editor.
No. And they don't have I don't think they did much in this regard. They have a property value converter. And that's about it. So, they have a controller as well. Apparently, you can get some settings off of the server. We need to look into those as well, or what? Okay.
Probably not too much.
It seems you've got the API key, location, and zoom level of the server, and actually not saved on the property editor.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's because they were added later, probably. So that's.
Okay, and then you could but like in the example you showed for V13, they were actually on the property editor, so it seems there were two different ones. Just goes to show there's probably a lot of things we don't have. Okay. So you're in the 13 documentation here, and you see the data. It's wonderful.
We could probably copy a bit of this.
More or less, yeah.
See if it works.
Be fine. Okay, so I sort of start seeing the pattern here. So this was the sharp way of registering a property editor before. So as if you didn't do it in a package manifest, you would do it as a data editor. But now that package manifest doesn't exist anymore, we only have the Umbraco package file, and that's only being read by the client. That means that you need the C# way of registering property editors. Yeah. So we need to fill it out.
We need to fill it out. Let me just import NuGet stuff.
Yep.
And reference, yes. And then there's going to be a few differences here, I can already suspect.
Well, the alias, you had a constant for that already.
Oh, yeah, that's true. But what was...
And that was
it was right. Yeah, that property alias. Yes.
I don't think you need to give it a name, to be honest. Since that's also in the client now.
Let's see what happens here. What we need is deprecated. Why is it out there? Not deprecated.
So the core ones, we only give it a value type, and then some of them are also reusable. So they have the value editor is reusable Boolean. I guess we can.
I want to say no.
Well, I think you should just
wrong,
more or less delete everything except for the alias, and then you can just do value type equals, and then whatever value type you have. So that could be value types dot string, for instance, or value type dot. And so this is actually, I mean, we'll need to figure out what the value is actually. And right now we are saving a string.
It should probably be JSON in the end.
Yeah, and that's the question, really, isn't it? What do we want to save? Do we just want to save the coordinate you picked, or
no? But I think zoom level and everything should also be.
That makes sense. So you might as well just save it as a JSON type already.
I think so. You have a property value converter for that in the end.
Yeah, and then you can give it a value editor as reusable and set that to true. As well.
Yes.
Yeah, so that more or less means it can be cached until you save something new. So there are a few instances where you can't cache one. For instance, if you have a block list or block grid where the values inside are dynamic, you don't want to change it. But ours aren't. I think you select coordinate and zoom level and maybe some other stuff we'll see, and that's about it. Yep.
Okie-doke. So we don't need these assets anymore because they're already in the manifest. And then we have this one that, let's see what we need to actually fill in here. This looks fine.
Yeah, I think we just need the data value editor factory yet.
Beautiful. What you're complaining about, it's not convert into primary constructor. No, not right now. Not right now.
Not right now.
Cool.
There's another one we can set that's called support read only on the class. But that's something like if you see it in a variant view and you've been in a split view and we want one of them should be read only, can your editor handle that? It's not on the data editor, it's actually in the constructor. So inside the curly brackets in the constructor.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I'm not sure how to make the map really a read-only at this stage, so maybe just leave that out. Yeah. So now we have the data editor. The question is then, if you compiled that and you had the correct dependency set up, if we could actually save data. But you then also need to You're currently saving a string, and so it thinks it's JSON, and there might be something where it'll then run some JSON serializer on it, and you'll get some bogus data out. But
yeah, that's well, we can figure that one out.
yeah.
Okay, if we go back to Umbraco here.
Did you already compile everything?
Yes. But, oh, should I do this one as well? The
No.
No. Well, it'll be quick. So if I go back to GMaps, which has an API key, starting with an A, there we are. Oh, it's twice.
Give it a name.
And
Give it a
try to
name.
save it. Well, well, okay. I found a bug.
It did save, didn't it?
It did kind of save, but I think it didn't save anything at all. Let me just refresh this page. Also, it's doing an existing data type. Or it looks like.
Yeah, try and find it in the menu.
Want to create a new one. Oh, you think it's there already?
Might be. Oh, you have the old one there. What could be a bug?
Yeah. Nah.
Yeah. Do it again.
All good.
Emails. Awesome.
Come on. Why am I not pasting? Yeah. Save. Created.
Oh,
amazing.
So the server knows about it now. Yeah.
I need to update
That's
my
all well and
document.
good. Yeah, I need to.
And this is going to go wrong for the existing ones, I'm guessing, if I change this.
Yeah, but if you change to your new V2 configuration, at least it'll have the API key.
Yeah. So, yeah, will it have the API key? Okay, so these are wrong, but if we can create a new node, it might just work. Wow, it did.
Yeah. There we go.
That's not too shabby.
Could you try and just pick a
Oh, I didn't give it a name.
Hopefully that's it. Okay.
And nothing there now. Okay. Well, we have one problem here. And what is the problem? Oh, okay. Yeah. So I didn't. Yeah. Okay. We didn't. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
So now we have JSON saved, and we didn't anticipate that.
Yeah.
So let's see what we can do there, and that would be.
Well, we have about 1 minute left.
Oh.
By the way.
Okay. I'm happier than last time because we actually got somewhere.
Yeah, we can drag the marker. We can.
Where would it be?
And we even created a new data editor.
Oh, here.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Yeah. I don't need to JSON parse this actually, because it's already JSON.
Yeah, if it's already JSON, yeah, would more or less work.
Yeah. Let's see.
But you might also have, I don't know, what we saved was.
Yeah, it worked.
Okay. Can you then save a new? Move it to
go.
HQ. Yeah.
Just under the giraffe. I always think the water in Odense is a giraffe.
Yeah.
It looks like a big giraffe, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Oh, you're right.
Okay.
You can
Excellent.
just see, midways between HQ and Doc 5000, right? That's where we'll see everybody in
a
few
few
months.
weeks. Months.
2 months, right?
Yeah, that's right.
It's only April.
Are you getting scared?
well, I have to do a talk, right? And I also have to do this back office stuff.
Exactly.
It's sort of
Okay.
scary, yeah. But the RC is on track. I mean, we'll get it out there, and
Oh yeah,
on
beta 3.
Wednesday,
Or the
beta
RC.
3 as well. The RC next week, beta 3 has just been released,
Yeah, exactly.
actually.
Cool. Well,
Yes,
Lottie asked
it's hot
before we
off the
started
press.
yeah, hot off the press. Lottie asked before we started if there should be a final. The title should be final or part 3. I'm like, maybe part 3, and then we'll see if we can make it a final at some point.
We have a few things to do before, like the whole C# thing. Also need to test it on the website at some point, but yeah.
Exactly. That would be amazing. Are you happy to join us in a week's time, Jacob?
Yeah.
Super. And then let's
Course.
do this again next week.
And we can do it on the RC.
We can do it on the RC.
Drum, oh, it's so scary.
Amazing.
Oh yeah, I just checked, and the build for beta 3 is out. So it finished once we were talking.
Yeah,
it's great. Go and check that out as well.
I'll
and,
upgrade it immediately and see if the maps still work. Should be fine. Famous last words.
Always fine.